Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Welcome to my new venture, my new podcast. Many of you know me. If you're new here, I'll just get you up to date of who I am, what I do. And to those who've been following me for the last 8 years, thank you for continuing to roll with me on this new venture. A lot of y'all know I was on We're Just Messages podcast with my boy Mo. We was running it up for 8 years. We had a great 8 years together. And I decided recently that it was time to go solo, do my own thing. I want to salute the Mo, salute the Drew, salute the VP. VP was the first person to give me and Mo an opportunity to do a podcast. So I definitely want to shout all those people out. Of course, salute my dog Stan for always holding us down on the visuals. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And to be transparent with y'all, I kind of did hit a wall over the last couple months. The last episode I did was back in February, and it was days where I was just getting up. We record every Saturday, sometimes Sunday mornings, and I will walk right by my room, and I just be like, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. You get what I'm saying? So, um, at the end of the day, I kind of was just like, is this really for me? And when I sat back and I thought about it, I'm like, if I'm not going to be doing this, what else am I going to be doing? I'm going to always be looking over my shoulder, wondering, what if this, what if that? And when you do something for so long, of course, you have your highs and you have your lows. And recently, them lows is feeling like some real lows. I'm gonna just be completely honest. It was feeling like some real lows. I was questioning myself, and I'm somebody who has high confidence, and it really wasn't about my abilities. It was about, am I really supposed to be doing this? Because I kind of felt like I should be further along than what I am. But I had a lot of conversations with God. Me and God talked a lot. Whatever religious belief you believe in, if you believe in a higher power or not, I just believe in the power of prayer and communicating with the man upstairs. And me and the man upstairs had plenty of conversations, and I was able to really come to the conclusion, like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is what I need to be doing. Because I know I would be cheating myself, putting so much time and effort into this and not really giving it my all. You don't do something for 8 years and not love it, especially when you're not getting compensated for it. So this is what I truly love to do. Me and Mo, our first episode was December 19th, 2016. So this is not somebody who just coming out there, somebody else starting a podcast. No, I've been here, been doing it for a long time, and I'm gonna keep doing it for a long time. And also in that time of reflection, I really just amped up my workouts. I'm somebody who pretty much stays consistent in the gym with working out, but I really turned it up January. And when you really get into fitness and you start challenging yourself, it trickles down to other aspects of your life. And I felt like me getting in the gym also helped me with this decision too, because if I could consistently get up every other day, every day, because I kind of got myself on a routine now and working out, I know I could be dedicating time to be doing this podcast. And I'm just proud of myself, man, honestly. And I also want to shout out my sister, man. My sister Tyler, a lot of y'all, or some of y'all don't know, she lost her life uh, early November 2023. And I know she wouldn't want me to just falter. And she also kind of weighed on my mind a lot during this last couple months in terms of my decision and what I'm supposed to be doing with this. And ultimately, I know she wouldn't be proud of me if I was to just let it go. I couldn't, because I had everything that I need. I have the abilities to get up, go do what I'm supposed to be doing. So she also helped me in this decision making too. Like, I know she wouldn't be proud of me at all. She probably would be talking shit, honestly, because that's what she be doing. Like, boy, get your ass up, get in there and record this episode. So I'm just excited, man. I'm excited. I don't know what's to come, but what I know is I'm gonna be here consistently. I'm gonna be dropping this content. I'm gonna be providing, how I give it up. The title is pretty much self-explanatory. Anybody who knows me knows I stand on what I say. I got strong opinions, and what you're gonna get a guarantee from me is I'm gonna be factual based. I'm going to always base my opinions off of facts. You might not always agree with them, but I'm always be consistent. And I don't have a problem in being wrong on a lot of things. The format's going to pretty much stay the same. I'm going to still talk about music. I'm going to still talk about sports. I'm going to still talk about current events. And, just giving up how I regularly give it up. So, again, I want to shout out to Mo. Me and him definitely still on great terms. This is no type of messy breakup or none of that. My dog is 100% in support of me and what I got going on. And again, shout out to everybody else who was holding it down for us. Again, salute to Marcus. Marcus was somebody else who also, when Mo couldn't be here, he stepped up tremendously. Like, we kind of gave him, like, the six man, kind of like the six man off the bench, Jamal Crawford of the pod. You get what I'm saying? So I definitely want to shout out Marcus for always holding it down for us when we needed him to. And I just plan on running this shit the fuck up, honestly, man. I got some great ventures that I'm not really going to speak about right now, but I plan on getting my face out there more. And I'm just here to stay. That's all I can really say, man. I'm really here to stay. I'm excited. And ultimately, man, this is what I know I'm supposed to be doing. Ever since I was a kid, I can remember, just to give y'all a little quick story, I can remember back in 2003, because I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. Please don't go kill me. I've been getting killed enough for the last 5-10 years. But I remember when I was a kid and we had the NFC Championship game in 2003, I was in the barbershop and I literally was debating guys 30 years old, 40 years old. I'm like 11, 12 years old, telling them why we're going to win this game. So I always go back and I think about moments in terms of, you just know in your gut what you was put on this planet to do. Everybody has something that they know that they're passionate about and why they're doing it. And I can't see myself doing nothing else but this right here. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to get this shit. I'm just ready, man. I can't wait to get this shit started. So we gonna get into the first topic. And I'm excited to talk about this because I'm not gonna lie, I was excited to see this movie. And when I say movie, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Sinners. And I remember when the promo first came out, people went and saw it on opening nights. And I want to shout out Ryan Coogler and I want to shout out Michael B. Jordan because both of them collectively did a great job on this movie. I personally think that Michael B. Jordan killed this role. I think this might be, if not top 2, maybe top 3 performances he did, because it was a twin role for one. So that's not easy to do. That's difficult as fuck. He definitely stood out in this role. Delroy Lindo, salute to him. The way it was shot, it was genius. Ryan Coogler definitely did a good job as far as planning this movie and putting it and fitting it together. Ultimately, though, I can't say that this was a knock out the park film for me. I give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. And the reason why I give it an 8 out of 10 is because mainly what I didn't like about the movie was more so the ending. And I don't really see too many people talking about the ending. And the reason why is because it didn't make sense for me on how Stack can save his brother Smoke's life. That don't make no sense to me. And another thing, the girlfriend, I can't think of her name on the top of my head right now. How is it her, out of all the vampires, was the one to get away? If you remember clearly in the scene when, and I can't think of Stack's girlfriend right now, but she told her, like, yes, they can feel the main vampire's pain, but all of them had to be killed individually. So I remember when they was all in the barn, they all come outside, the girlfriend all of a sudden is the one that's just taking off running. All the other vampires, if you remember, are in the water with the other vampire prior to him dying. That didn't make no sense to me at all. So when I'm watching the last scene and I see Sam, he's like 80 years old now, and then Stack walks in with his girlfriend, and he tells him that, oh yeah, well, Smoke made me promise that all these years I had to leave you alone and he wouldn't kill me. And I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, that really was my biggest gripe with this movie. Everything else was pretty much fine, but I do feel like it was a little bit overhyped. It's not a movie that I say I would see again, but it was a good one-time watch. I really think they did a good job shooting it wise, good cinematography, all of that. But That was really my biggest gripe with that movie because I felt like it didn't round out how it's supposed to. I didn't really get into the whole. I felt like a lot of people wanted this to have a deeper meaning than what it displayed on film, essentially. And like I said, it's not something that I would see again, but I definitely, this is a movie that I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. And if there was to do a sequel, I probably would check it out. If they was to do like a prequel type thing, I would like to see that as well. But all in all, the acting was good. The storyline at the end of it, just the full circle moment, just didn't make sense to me. I feel like it could have ended a little bit. I honestly feel that Smoke should have killed Stack. Just to be honest, you don't let your devil possessed brother live, knowing that is essentially really not him. Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. And for the girl, again, out of all the vampires to be able to be the one to get away, that just didn't make sense to me at all. That didn't make sense to me at all. This is me not to say, hey, you shouldn't go see Sinners. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. It is a good film. And form your own opinion. Like you said, this is like I'm saying, this is just my opinion on it. This is how I feel about it. Like I said, it was a one good time watch. But Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan definitely get a thumbs up from me, and especially Michael B. Jordan, because it's definitely not easy to play twin roles. The music scene in the movie that everybody reveres, I did think it was a cool scene. I didn't really have no issues with it. I see some people was like it really wasn't necessary. I thought it was dope. Integrating all those different forms of music, combine it into one. And shout out to Sam too. Sam did a great job. I don't know his name either off the top of my head, and I don't want to mess it up. But he also did a good job on this movie as well. Um, but yeah, shout out to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. And I'm interested in another project. Them two usually always when they come together, they knock it out the park. Like I said, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. So that's how I feel about that one right there. What we got up next? We had a wild week of not even a wild week, man. We've had a wild month of allegations, man. So Shannon Sharp, man. As we all know, Shannon Sharp is facing a lawsuit. A woman is suing him for upwards of $50 million for alleged sexual assault and I think also rape that's in that lawsuit. And all I have to say about Shannon Sharp is listen, I'm a fan of Shannon Sharp from a tight end. I think Shannon Sharp is the greatest tight end to ever play this game. His transition from football to media is something that's very rare as far as what he's been able to accomplish. He's greatly accomplished, but I just don't see how he can essentially fuck himself up this bad. Especially from the standpoint of you being on the cusp of inking these big time deals, and now you have to take a step back. That's my biggest gripe with Shannon and all of this. It's like you just be right on the edge of greatness, hitting your peak. We all know last year he kicked down the door with the year with the Cat Williams interview, killed it. And even though I haven't been feeling Shannon's last couple of interviews, because I feel like ever since he had the Cat Williams interview, it's kind of been a plus and minus for him. On the plus side, it gave him more notoriety, more attention, more subscribers, more followers. But also, I feel like he's been chasing moments. Shannon has kind of been messy in his last previous interviews. But all in all, though, in the culmination, I can't really say this man hasn't done what he was supposed to be doing as far as media. He has been killing. He's making a name for himself. He's been winning awards. So for him to get to this point is confusing to me. Especially when Shannon has been so critical of Chad himself. You get what I'm saying? Like, I seen those episodes of him getting on Chad. I seen him being critical of athletes in the past. I seen him be critical of other media members who may have messed up. So for it to meet him at his front door, that's where I'm kind of like, damn. Like, literally right there. Now you have to take a step back from ESPN. Now you have to sit back and reevaluate yourself. And I know there is allegedly a victim that's involved in this, so I want to be very sensitive to what's going on. And, you know, of course, this is a case that has to play out. I just feel like throughout this whole thing, Shannon has played it completely bad. First of all, I don't know how you can screenshot the statement that probably your PR rep, your lawyer, whoever sent you that, and you screenshot it and post it yourself. You're not supposed to do that, dog. You're supposed to take that, copy and paste it, and post it yourself. And, you know, him putting out his initial video to get out in front of it, you know, of course, because nobody wants to be guilty of what those type of acts. I understand that, but I felt like it really didn't help him. You get what I'm saying? And in terms of how a couple of days after that, how it's transpired, and him threatening the alleged victim's lawyer, threatening to put out a video. I don't see how Shannon bounces back in this. I honestly don't. Hopefully it doesn't ruin his career, but if he is guilty of said acts, he needs to be held accountable. And it's just unfortunate because, again, us as black men, we already know we got the scope on us. So when you continuously put the scope on yourself because you can't control your sexual desires, that's where the shit gets murky. And for Shannon to be one of the most prominent guys in media, I expected better. I did. I really did expect better. At the end of the day, I don't know him, but throughout the duration of his career, I've known Shannon to carry himself in a professional manner. Like I said, I don't know these guys. I'm not saying that, I look up to them or want to be cool, buddy with them or none of that. I'm just going based off of what I seen. And what I seen is a guy who unfortunately, he let his sexual desires fuck him up. And it's so unfortunate because he should know better out of anybody. Pro Bowl, Hall of Famer tight end. Like, what comes with it. So for you to be 56 years old and you meet this crossroads, even when I listen back to the telephone conversation, just the verbiage, him not being on point about some of the verbiage that she was putting out there to kind of essentially let him know, like, hey, like, you may be being recorded. Like, you hear what you're saying right now? Because that phone conversation is crazy. And that can point to there being some guilt in that. Some people are saying, oh, that's just a sexual tension in how they talk. In my personal opinion, that didn't sound like a sexual type of conversation. That really sounded like he said, yeah, you use that word, I'm gonna choke you and all that. And she was just like, nah, Shannon, this is not a good look. So, like I said, I hope it's not true. And if he is guilty of this, Shannon does have to be held accountable. There's no room for none of that to be going on. It's just no room for it. It's no room for it. I'm interested to see how this all plays out. And what's so interesting too? That whole FS1 Undisputed crew all has something on their jacket. You have Skip Bayless with his allegations. You got Joy Taylor with her allegations. And what I find so interesting, I'm not really going to deep dive on Joy because that's kind of like an old, and I've spoken on that before. But what I find interesting about the Joy Taylor one is how she's just been able to still maintain her spot on Speak. And nothing else has really came from it. I don't know what else is to come from it. I don't know. It just seemed like the case just kind of just went away. I don't know if it's still out in play. I don't know. But it's really ironic how that whole first FS1 crew all has something on their jacket. That's nasty. That's just nasty work. That whole crew has something on their jacket. I see Shannon Sharp. He's still doing his nightcap with Ocho Cinco. I don't see some of the sponsors that he had previously on there. Of course, ESPN released their statement. He won't be on there. I think he's saying he wants to be back on track by the time preseason football roll around. At this rate, I really don't see it. Unless something transpired that completely absolves him from them actions. And what he's saying is this is a railroad attempt for some money. But I say that to say, man, if you're doing anything, whether it be media, sports, cooking, if you're doing any type of thing that's getting your name out there and you're becoming more notable, please don't let your sexual desires be your downfall. Please don't. Please have dick discipline. Please, as men, please have dick discipline, bro. Like, sometimes you might have to just rub that thing out. Hey, I'm just being 100. That can save you from months, years, hours of shit that you don't want to have to deal with. You get what I'm saying? Check people's front doors, check their back doors, check their side doors. Like, we live in a social media era, so everybody chasing moments, everybody chasing money as well with these moments. So when you see somebody and you're in a position where you have millions on the table, shit, it can even be hundreds of thousands. People, you don't even got to have millions for people to try to railroad you. So again, like I said, I want to be sensitive because there is allegedly a victim involved in this, and I hope she wasn't harmed in this. But I'm really interested to see how this plays out. And again, man, just be mindful, especially the young ones. And Shannon is somebody who's 56 years old. You definitely expect somebody to be better in that aspect. Definitely, definitely. So, that's all I really had to say about that. I am interested to see how this plays out because ultimately, I don't want to see him go down, especially based off of how his last couple of years have been running up. But again, if he is guilty, you got to be held accountable, man. Smokey Robinson, see, now this is the one that really threw me for a loop. Smokey Robinson, just allegedly, not allegedly. Let me see. Let me pull this up because this really took me for a loop, and I can't understand for the life of me how Smokey Robinson at 83 years old can have these allegations on him. This really um so Smokey Robinson um let me see. Smokey Robinson lawyer says rape allegations against him are vile and false. Attorney Christopher Frost said in a statement Wednesday that the evidence will show that this is simply an ugly method of trying to extract money from an 85-year-old American icon. The suit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on Tuesday against the Motown music luminary seeks at least $50 million in damages over the alleged assaults, which the women say took place between 2007 and 2024. Robinson's wife, Frances Robinson, is also named as a defendant for allegedly enabling his behavior and creating an abusive work environment. We will be addressing the numerous aspects of this complaint that defy cruelty, as well as issues relating to proportion timelines, inconsistencies, and relationships between the plaintiffs. The four women each alleged that Smokey Robinson would wait until he was alone with them in his Los Angeles house and then sexually assault and rape them, in some cases for many years. So again, this is very serious. We all know, we've heard these stories from some of the most notable artists in Black culture. Of course, R. Kelly. Of course, Sean Puffy Combs. We also have even in the entertainment world, Bill Cosby. This is very, very serious allegations. I would hope to think that Smokey Robinson didn't do these acts, and I hope he is not guilty of these acts. But at the same time, too, this is another situation where we have to wait and see how this plays out. Especially when you're 85 years old, you shouldn't even have to be dealing with nothing like this. This is the time of your life where you should be cruising off into the sunset. But again, allegedly there are victims involved, so condolences and prayers to those women who allegedly were sexually assaulted and raped by Smokey Robinson. I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out as well, because this is just nasty, especially coming from somebody who's, without a doubt, like I said earlier, an American icon in Black music period. So I'm definitely interested to see how that one plays out as well. We also had another one that was shocking to me, and it just seemed like these just hit back to back. So Byron Scott from the Los Angeles Lakers, he was a former Lakers Showtime Laker guard. If you don't know, Byron Scott played for the Los Angeles Lakers. A woman is suing former Los Angeles Lakers player and coach Byron Scott, accusing him of sexually assaulting her during a team event at her high school in 1987 when he was 26 and she was 15. The lawsuit filed in December 2022 and amended on May 1st accuses Scott of sexual battery and false imprisonment. Scott, 64. Come on, man. These ads are killing me right in the middle of me reading that. My apologies, y'all. Let me see if I can close this. Okay. The lawsuit filed in December 2022 and amended on May 1st accuses Scott of sexual battery and false imprisonment. Scott, 64, fought to have his name removed from the court documents, but a judge denied his request to be identified as only as John Doe. The updated complaint named him publicly for the first time. During a visit from the Lakers, the alleged victim was attending summer classes at Campbell Hall High in Los Angeles when she was sexually assaulted by Byron Scott in a locked janitor's closet in the high school gymnasium, according to the court filing. Scott was a Laker player at the time. The lawsuit was filed in 2022 under California law that temporarily allowed older cases to be filed for underage plaintiffs. That law required a defendant to remain anonymous until certain thresholds were crossed. Scott's attorney, Linda Bromister, said her client doesn't deny that sexual contact occurred, but maintains that he thought the girl was of legal age. That right there stands out to me. I don't know why his lawyer would say something like that, because that does not help the situation, in my opinion, at all. For your lawyer to say, doesn't deny sexual contact occurred, he thought the girl was of age. That's where it gets tricky. I don't know what's going on lately, but we also in a time too where, and we have to be very sensitive with these, because sexual assault does weigh on people's minds, especially women, especially the women. Of course, us as men, we can overpower women by being naturally stronger than them, and it does take years. Some it may take months, some it may take the next day, some it may take 10 years, 15 years. And this is something that we have to continuously take serious. This is nothing that we could play around with. And we do have to hold these men accountable if they are guilty of these acts. So that was another one that happened. Like, again, the Smokey Robinson and the Byron Scott one kind of hit like the same day. I can't remember what day it was last week, but they kind of hit at the same time. So as more time goes on, hopefully we can see and get some answers for these, because I'm also not a fan of cases like this happening and we just don't hear from them no more. These are very serious acts, and these need to be resolved. We need to get answers, and if there is any guilt involved, we gotta go. And also, if these guys are found guilty, also they need to, be also how can I say, they need to get their apologies as well, because we do know, unfortunately, there are some people out here who lie about being sexually assaulted for monetary gain, and that's messed up as well. So that's something that I hope is not true with Byron Scott and Smokey Robinson, but also if they are guilty, again, just like Shannon Sharp, you got to hold these people accountable, man. We can't be having guys out here just running around feeling like just because they have status, they have money, they have power, they could take advantage of these women out here. Like, we just cannot have that going on. Another interesting story that happened this week. Actually, this happened a few days ago, and I wanted to speak on this. We had a homeowner arrested for killing a teen on TikTok. A teen got killed for doing a TikTok prank in Virginia. And I actually wanted to speak on this because I actually had a tweet bookmarked exactly on what exactly happened with this. So Tyler Chase Butler, that's a guy. He killed Michael Bosworth Jr., homeowner arrested for murder after shooting a teen kicking in his door at 3 a.m. His friends claim it was a TikTok prank. Let me say this. Again, and I said this earlier, we live in a time of social media where everybody's chasing clout. A lot of people like to do these skits where they're walking up on people on the street. They're doing these pranks. People are not playing out here. This is not the time to be out here trying to run up on people while they're with their families. Rather, they be by themselves, because you never know what comes with that. And you always have to be on guard what comes with that. Me personally, if you kick in my door at 3 a.m., I'm assuming this is a break-in and you are trying to either kill me or you trying to take something out of my home. And as a homeowner, I have the right to defend my home. I don't know what Virginia laws is. I do see that he's not even offered a bail, so I would have to look up to see what type of laws that they have in place on to why this man doesn't have bail. It's unfortunate that this kid lost his life, but it's very important to tell your nieces, your nephews, and your kids, that's not something you should be playing around with. TikTok, we all know, and I'm not the person who shits on social media. I believe I'm holding the people on social media accountable. I'm not holding the platforms accountable. You should know better than to be doing a prank of that magnitude in these times, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's unfortunate that that kid had to lose his life, but let this be a lesson to kids out here, and kids, if you are listening, young teenagers, young adults, please don't be doing these type of pranks. People work hard for what they have, and they don't even know what's going on. So you kicking in somebody's door at 3 a.m., you don't know what they got going on. They can have a newborn baby in the house. They can have, an elderly person in the house. You don't even know how they're wired mentally, and you out here, you playing games. And what results in this, unfortunately, is you losing your life all because of a TikTok prank. I remember last year, a few years ago, there was another TikTok prank where they had one where kids were jacking Nissans, I think it was, and somebody either got arrested or lost their life behind that too. We all know what the state of the economy is right now. People are losing their jobs. People can't find jobs. These jobs are not paying. Prices of everything is out the wazoo, going crazy. People don't have time to be losing their precious items or even let it be a risk. So if there's a threat of any type of, violence, or they feel like they can be harmed, you can't be upset with these people for, exercising their rights. Again, I would definitely love to see what Virginia's laws is as far as that, because that's kind of shocking to me that he doesn't even have a bail. And yes, this is a black man and a white teenage kid that lost his life. So we all know the racial component behind that as well. But honestly, man, I think this should definitely be a wake up call for these pranks. 100%. We cannot be out here playing those type of pranks. I'm not a Debbie Downer at all. I'm not somebody who say you can't have fun, but this lines cannot be crossed when it comes to touching people, when it comes to playing in people's face, when it comes to playing people food, playing with people money. Somebody could be with their wife or their husband, and you walking up and you playing games. That needs to stop, because everything is not worthy of that 15 minutes of fame on social media. Even if you might not even get it. You get what I'm saying? But you out here, you're trying to go viral. Everybody chasing viral moments. This is not the time to be playing viral moments, because now you can lose your life. Now a mother and a father have to bury their son all because of a TikTok prank. And now, unfortunately, this black man is in jail for taking somebody's life when he probably was just sleeping in his house at 3 a.m. and he had to kill somebody because they want to, quote unquote, have a prank. Please take this serious. Please talk to your kids, talk to your nieces, talk to your nephews, that consequences come behind your actions on any levels. You have to be accountable, and you have to be ready to be met at what potentially comes behind your actions. Everything is cause and effect. You do one thing, something else can happen behind it. So I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out, because I do believe this man should have a bail, because at the end of the day, he don't know what's going on. Again, this is 3:00 in the morning. A lot of break-ins, we done seen it. A lot of break-ins happen at nighttime. And you don't know who was in the house with him, what he could have had going on. But it's unfortunate he had to take somebody's life, man. So please, kids out here, please don't be playing around with these pranks. Take it serious. Take your life serious. Nothing is worth the Instagram moment. Nothing is worth a TikTok moment. Nothing is worth 15 minutes of whatever it is that you're chasing. The likes, the views, the clicks are never worth it. It's never worth it. So I want to talk about some music, man. There's been a couple of albums that came out over the last couple of months that I really want to give some credit to. I want to shout out Belly Gang Cushington, man. This nigga's nice, man. He's really giving me this real trap rapping feel. I remember when I first came across him, he stopped Atlanta traffic like at 5 p.m. right in the middle of the road. But what stood out to me was his rapping voice. He got a real distinct rapping voice. He had an album that dropped. When did his album drop? I got it right here. That shit been heavy in my rotation lately. He had an album called The Streets Is Yours. 14-track album. Honestly, and this is not me on no bullshit, because you already know how. Again, if you a listener, a former listener of mine, you back here with me today, you know that when it comes to music, I'm gonna keep it 100. And this album to me is flawless, from the introduction all the way down to the outro. And salute to him for paying homage to some greats with some of the beat selection he had. For T.I. on Who Said, Eminem on Sorry Mama, he did that, Cleaning Out My Closet flip. He did the outro, shout out to Drake on Take Care. He did the outro for Look What You Done. He did that flip. But Sorry Mama really stood out to me, and I could really hear the pain in his voice on that record, because he really talking to his mom. A lot of people don't know, and some people probably still even questioning about his race, because he looks like a white boy, but he is black. His mama left him when he was born, man. So when he was rapping on that record, I could really hear the pain in his voice. And I just want to salute Dog for this album. The introduction is even funny because he got the girl talking like, look, nigga, we don't know if you black or white. I really don't care, but niggas just want to know what are you. So I just want to shout out to Billy Gang Cushington, man. That salute, brother. That shit is nice. And I did recently see he posted an IG story, potentially him and Thug linking up together. So I definitely would like to see what that is like. But he definitely gives me like that 05, 06 trap feel. People of some shout out to Amp, because Amp say he reminded him of like of an albino Jeezy. And that nigga stupid, but I ain't gonna say all that. But he definitely give me like a Jeezy feel. And shit, hopefully him and Jeezy could get together on a record. I think that shit would sound amazing. His beat selection was A1. Just his rapping ability and just his tone of voice, like his presence. I think another thing that's really underrated when it comes to rappers is their tone. I feel like tone is a you know how like you got your 2K sliders, but that slider is not really like a main slider, but it's kind of like an extra boost. And I feel like when you got a certain rap voice, that could really help carry you on a record. Not saying that he's not lyrical at all, because he definitely got great lyrical ability. But just when he rap, you can feel the energy. And I feel like sometimes you can have some rappers who just think rapping the words is enough. Nah, it's all about your delivery. So I think his tone sets him apart from a lot of other rappers in this game. So I definitely want to salute to him on that. Mozzie is another one of my favorites from the West Coast. Mozzie had an album that dropped that called True of Thoughts. That's a real good album. Some of the tracks that stand out to me on this one, Keep Calling My Name, 7 Twos, That's Fire, Role Model, Cataclysm. Shout out to Sue Surf too. Sue Surf had a freestyle basically that he did from jail. That's track number 17. AT track album, very good. Salute to Mozzie. He's consistently been putting out good albums throughout his whole career. So I want to make sure I give him his proper just due for that as well. Blood Diamonds is actually one of my favorites on here as well. Press Play, that's dope. Oh, the record with ESCG, Death Before Dishonor, that's fire. What I like about Mozzie too, I definitely could tell he definitely has a certain ear for a certain type of beat. Like he definitely has a favorite type of pocket that he likes to stay in. But I like that though. I think sometimes we also get caught up in. I think us as fans can get entitled when it come to some of the rappers we like. I hear a lot of people say sometimes, they still doing the same beats or they doing the same flow. I really don't care as long as the music is good. If you found a pocket and a lane that works for you and the music always delivers, I'm a fan of it. Like I said, Pusha T, he been rapping about cocaine for 20 years now, and every time he drop, it's some good shit. Rick Ross, same thing. So for me, it's never really about the content. If you find something that works for you, I'm not really one of those rap fans who be like, nah, dog, you got to switch it up. I'm tired of hearing that. If the music delivers, I'm a fan of it. So I just want to salute the Mozzie for that. You definitely delivered on that album. And I'm definitely interested to see what the rest of the year is looking like for some of these for some of these guys in the rap game, man. I want to shout out to Akeem Ali too. When you talk about rapping, this nigga wordplay is insane, bro. This nigga got wordplay for days. He had an album that came out called The Texture Tape. But I've been following Akeem Ali for a few years now. I remember I first heard him on 85 South. And if you follow Akeem Ali, he got that his like rap persona is Kimi Casanova. But I remember I first heard him on 85 South, but he got a pimp persona to him. So he be rapping that slick shit. This nigga wordplay is insane, bro. That's all I can say. Please give him a follow on Instagram. Please cop this album, The Texture Tape. I fuck with Akeem Ali, dog. This nigga's nice. He got a track on here called Polyester. That's the intro. He got another track called Cashmere. I really like that one. Satin. I really fuck with that one. And Egyptian Cotton. Egyptian Cotton is a track that stands out to me. But this nigga he got hella freestyles on his Instagram page. So shout out to Akeem Ali. He's somebody who been rapping for a few years now. And I really hope he get his just due one day as far as continue to rise and get his notoriety. But you want to talk about wordplay? This nigga wordplay is insane, bro. This nigga, I'm like, how the fuck this nigga just come up with some shit like that? Rather he be in the car, be kicking his freestyles, rather he be on 85 South, rather he be on another. I don't know the name of this platform, but I read one of the recent freestyles he did when they be in the car and they be having the music playing. I remember I seen Case on there, I seen Young Dro, and Akeem was on there kicking that shit. So salute to Akeem Ali for definitely giving us just that slick talk rap, bro. That nigga wordplay is just again insane. When you talk about just like every rapper has a strong point. That nigga strong point is wordplay. Straight up. I fuck with that nigga. That nigga shit is insane when it comes to rapping that shit. And I like his persona too because he's not also it's original. It's not forced. Like, if you look at him, he looked like he Michael Jackson straight out of the 1970s. Like, he got the afro, then sometimes he switch it up to the braids, and he just, he just be on that pimp slick talk. And I really like the way that he puts together his image. Like, his raps really match his look. That's essentially what I'm saying. And I really appreciate that. Like, he really gets into the character and the persona of what he talking. So that shit was nice, dog. And hopefully I can see him collab. I did see a picture that he took recently. It was him, Chris Brown, and somebody else. So if I know if he cooking up with Chris Brown, hopefully, but I know you did. Hopefully, Akeem, you had a nice 16 that you put together on that shit, dog. But I'm definitely fucking with you, dog. And I hope you get your roses one day for real. And I hope you get that notoriety because I really fuck with that texture tape. You really doing your thing out here. So that's pretty much all I got for music at the moment. Hopefully. Oh, yes, I gotta do this shot. This ain't new music, but man, salute the SOS band for finally getting their music on DSPs. I've been waiting for this shit for so long. I've been having to listen to the shit on YouTube, and no, I'm still not getting YouTube Premium. You're not getting $1 out of me. I do not care. I'm not getting YouTube Music, Apple Music, or nothing, nigga. But I'm happy SOS Band finally got their discography back on streaming platforms, man. Definitely. I've been putting this shit on rotation. I tweeted this the other day, actually. Tell Me If You Still Care is literally one of the best songs ever. This is like, if you want to talk about like structure of a song, the beat, the harmonizing, just the way the bridges, the runs, it's just a beautifully put together song out the gates. The way the beat builds, like that song is just amazing. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. I don't know if I can name 10 songs better than Tell Me If You Still Care by SOS Band. So I'm glad they was able to finally figure out and handle whatever it was that that was holding them back from having these songs and their albums on DSPs. But I'm so glad that shit is finally on DSPs, man. Shout out to SOS Band, man. Shout out to them. So I'm going to talk about some TV shows now, man. Well, just one in particular, Raising Kanan. Raising Kanan 100% is the best spinoff from the Powerverse. It's not even debatable at this point. They have been killing this shit. I don't know what the fuck they got going on as far as they writers and they producers. Whatever they got going on, y'all need to apply that to the other shit. The Tommy. I know Tariq shit is over with, but I gave that shit a chance. And y'all should have had that on the last 2 seasons of Power, seasons 5 and 6. But Raising Kanan 100% has been amazing this season. And I want to shout out Lou and Raquel because every time they in the scene together, it seems like they had this type of chemistry that's just like, wow, like they really be having like award-winning moments every time they have a scene together. And the acting is all A1. Like literally everybody from the smallest role to the biggest role, everybody is killing their shit. Kanan doing his thing. He's actually became better acting throughout, because we on the 4th season now. Lou has been killing shit out the gate. Marvin, Rock, Omar Epps when he was on there. But everybody who's introduced or becomes on this show, there's literally no lacking. The writing is A1. I'm excited about the season finale because this season has been amazing. And I love the story arc of Unique. And I felt like that's how they should have handled Lamar on BMF. I always say that. Like, I felt like with Lamar on BMF, they just went super, super extra villain with that shit. And it was unnecessary. They didn't have to do that at all. But with Unique, they not doing like no extra shit when it come to his killings. Like, he really like moving like how a smooth villain would move in that time frame. Like, they really just, they knocking it out the park. And I want to salute Joey Badass too, because he really, and we all know Joey Badass to be a rapper, But man, when it comes to this nigga acting skills, he really has. I want to salute you, brother, because you really been killing your unique role on Razor Kanan, dog. Like sometimes I forget that you are a rapper. You get what I'm saying? And that's not to try to play you or nothing. That's really just giving you your respect, bro. You really versatile when it comes to your talents, bro. So hopefully you continue to get some more opportunities outside of Raising Kanan. But man, Razor Kanan has been amazing this season, and it just continues to get better. And this is a show, honestly, I could see having another 2 seasons. Like, they haven't really done anything extra as far as the storylines. Anybody knew that they come in, they fit right in. It's not nothing that's forced. And that's one thing that I appreciate about this show. Like, everybody is just well meshed into the storyline, to what needs to be going on. Everything is aligning up. The wardrobe is A1, it's early 90s, so everybody putting shit on. And honestly, when even just speaking on the fits, everybody getting busy when it comes to the fits. I think this is the first show I've seen in a long time where not one fit is lacking on that show. And man, I probably can be a little biased because I am a fan of that type of dressing and that style. But all in all, though, man, Razor Kanan it's definitely kept me on the edge of my seat, and I can't wait for the season finale next week, bro. I'm here. It's looking like it's gonna be some thick shit, but I think Kanan just really the hate that he had for his mother is very, very, very glaring, bro. Like, anybody can tell his mama just robbed the McDonald's around the corner. He gonna believe that shit. Yeah, she did that shit. I can't stand my mother, but this dude here, like, for him to be thinking that she possibly killed Famous, I just don't see why he would think that. I think he just has so much anger in him that he can't fathom nobody else doing that shit. Like, if for him to believe the two, because I can't think of their names right now, the one he getting his work from, the older couple, for him to, even be thinking that he could just take their word over, his mom, that shit is crazy to me. But like I said, salute to them for killing this shit, because man, it's been going crazy, bro, and I can't wait to see the season finale. So salute to Razor Kanan, salute to 50 for knocking it out the park with that one. And like I said, I can't wait. I'm ready. I'm anxious. I haven't been this excited about a TV show in a minute. So again, salute to y'all. NBA playoffs, man. NBA playoffs definitely took off while I wasn't recording, so we definitely got some shit we got to cover. We're currently in the second round right now. We got Boston versus the Knicks. We got Cleveland versus Indiana. We got Minnesota versus Golden State, and we got Thunder versus Denver. So let me recap on the first round or everything that happened in the first round. Pretty much the standout shit. Everybody knows, I'm going to go ahead and address this right now because I know everybody wait for me to talk about it. James Harden. So we all know the Clippers lost to Denver in the first round in 6 games or 7? 7 games. 7 games. Another dud performance by James Harden. And let me go ahead and say this now. James Harden is to a point now where I feel like he needs to go ahead and take that role, that bench role. It doesn't benefit any franchise going forward in 2025, 2026, 2027 to have James Harden leading the ship. Rather be him starting point guard. He don't need to be starting, period. Because we're to the point now, if you're bringing on James Harden to your team and you had championship aspirations, he shouldn't be leading that ship. He has proven consistently over the last couple years that at this point in his career, it doesn't benefit y'all to do that. He needs to be taking on a role like Russell Westbrook is in Denver. He needs to be coming off the bench. Those performances in Game 7 was ridiculous, and that paints back to the narrative. Even though he did have a good Game 6, ultimately, when it really, really mattered, all the chips in the middle of the table, he laid out a dud. James Harden has way too many 4 for 8s, 2 for 10s, 3 for 8s, 1 for 9 type performances when the stacks really matter. And I'm a James Harden fan. Everybody know I got him top 3 shooting guard of all time. But it's to a point now where you're not getting nowhere with James Harden as your starting point guard. He needs to hang it up. That performance was inexcusable. And even with Clipper Nation, Steve Ballmer coming into a new building, they won a championship. And I get it, the whole system thing. In my opinion, no more system for James Harden. It's time to take on that second role. It's time to take on that second role, that bench role. You coming off the bench. And if it's something that James don't want to do, then, hey, he can find his way out the league. But that's where we're at with it. Like, James Harden should not be starting no more on no teams. I understand he just came off an all-star season. I understand he possibly going to make an all-NBA team, rather be second or third. But you going to be 36. If teams know this is going to be the end result, why would they invest that much money in you? Why? I honestly don't feel like he deserves another max contract. I think James Harden should be getting a vet minimum, coming off the bench, where when the fourth quarters come around, he can be deferring to somebody else, or somebody else can take the reins, because they cannot depend on you to deliver when it really matters. And again, like I said, he did have a good game 6. But ultimately, when the series was tied and it was time to really get busy, seemed disinterested, didn't take shots. James Harden should never be shooting under 10 times in no game 7. And he has too many of those moments. So at this point now, James Harden either needs to take on that role, or he may have to bow out, bro. That just is what it is. I sing James' praises immensely, but a spade is a spade. This is 2025 now. This is not 2018, 2019, where you're arguably the best player in the league. You are the best player at your position. You are dropping 36 a night with 10 assists. That's not going on no more. So essentially, how are you helping the team? And if James Harden is leading your ship, all is going to lead us to disaster, because this is going to be and all we can do is judge you off your previous work. And your previous work states that when that game 7 or that game 6 come around, this is what you're doing. And I've been a James Harden defender, even as a fan, but a spade is a spade. And it's time for James Harden to move on and come off the bench for another team. I don't even think the Clippers should bring him back, honestly, because it's not benefiting him. Kawhi Leonard, hopefully he can probably run up another season where he's fully healthy so he can be out there, because he didn't play nothing but 40, maybe 40-some games, 30-some games. So hopefully he can go out there. But it's looking like the leadership, they want to go out here and run it back. So I don't know. But in my opinion, James Harden needs to go ahead and take a step back and do that. So now, next on the list, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is also one of my favorite players in the league, somebody that I highly revere. And what I love about Jason Tatum the most is how he started out his career. And it's very rare that you have somebody come into the league, hit the ground running like he did. And I do feel like he don't get the credit that he deserves. And I feel like at this point in time, it's really not about basketball when it comes to Jason Tatum. It's something personal. I don't know what the fuck it is when it comes to Jason Tatum. But Jason Tatum literally is 5-time All-NBA first, a champion, never missed a playoff. And people talk about him as if he's Tony Delk or something. I don't understand that shit. This is not to absolve his first 2 games versus the Knicks. He had an okay game 3. Bounce back. He shot way better from 3. Missed a couple of layups. Missed a couple of layups that he should have been making, but he had a pretty good bounce back game as far as a confidence booster and shooting from the 3. 22 points, 6 rebounds, I think 7 assists. But this is not to absolve his first 2 games at all. But what I notice is these other players like SGA, Ant. What I notice is SGA and Ant can have great games, and they get the Jordan comps. Face of the league talks. Jason Tatum have a great game, and this is the vibe that it gives off to me. Nigga, please do that shit again. This is from a guy who's already proven. He's already a proven champ. Like, I understand in the finals he wasn't Jason Tatum we know him to be, but he wasn't ass. Him and Jaylen Brown were essentially okay. Boston as a team was just overwhelmingly better than the Dallas Mavericks. No, they did not have great performances. Both were good and okay to me throughout the duration of those finals. But ultimately, they did what they needed to do to win. And there's not a lot of winners as far as a champion that have came through this league or started their career the way he has at 26, now 27 years. He just turned 27. So I don't understand what it is that people want from him. And I'm just going to chalk it up to essentially, y'all just don't like this man. Because again, SGA and Ant can have great games and they get Jordan comps. Tatum have a great game. Do it again. SGA and Ant have bad games. It happens. Tatum have a bad game. We having legacy talks. How we having legacy talks from a guy who's already proven? Please explain that to me. That shit does not make any lick of sense from a guy who's already proven. SGA should be held more accountable than Jason Tatum, and he's simply not. Objectively speaking, SGA does not have any playoff moments. Jason Tatum has playoff moments. And speaking of, this is why I'm really feeling the way I want to feel, because I want to play this clip from Dan Le Batard that really had me like, this is how I know this shit is not about basketball when it comes to Jason Tatum. And y'all are purposely waiting on these down moments from Tatum to push these narratives, because you're not pushing any positive narratives when he shows the fuck out. Let me go ahead and play this clip from Dan Le Batard.
Are you fundamentally obligated to fall in love with Jalen Brunson right now? Because Jalen Brunson already has a moment in the last series to end it I've never seen Jason Tatum have. Give me a play Jason Tatum's made in his life more memorable than how it is that Brunson ended the Pistons. All of American sports fan expectations need to land today on the back of his neck. You are a champion, and I've almost never said this about a champion. Prove to me you deserve to be one. Because last season, do what Brunson does. Brunson's the smallest player on the court. I look at you and just physically, I know you're the best one. But what are you going to do? Oh, fade away again? Brunson got the foul shots. It's end of game time. It is end of game time. You give the ball to Brunson, Knicks fans know what's going to happen there. And when he misses a 1-foot layup, they don't even blame him because they know what he is. He's the best clutch player in the NBA empirically. Does more in the fourth quarter than anybody. Tatum? The only thing left to have on Tatum's resume, it's incredibly bejeweled for his age. Where are the moments?
So now, this is how I know this is not about basketball. We're lying now. You're lying, Dan Le Batard. You're lying. You cannot say with a straight face Jason Tatum don't have playoff moments. Game 6 versus the Bucks, 2022, down 3-2 in a row, 46 points. In a game he had to win. Game 6 versus Philly, fourth quarter, 16 straight points to close that game out. Game 7, dropped 50 points. Those are moments that a lot of greats don't even have. And that's just 3 of them from a guy who's still only 27 years old. You get what I'm saying? So what moments does SGA have from a guy who's been campaigned and been in MVP talks, rightfully so, the last 2-3 years? He doesn't have them. And hopefully he does have one come game 4. Because that last game he had was terrible. But guess what came with that? Nothing. I'm the person who judges the game. I'm not going to have legacy talks about SGA or Tatum. SGA did have a bad game. But don't tell me Jason Tatum had a bad 2 games. SGA has a horrendous game. And let's be honest, SGA's field goal percentage has been tremendously bad. He has fallen from about 53% to out of 4 out of the 7 playoff games, he's shooting under 40%. How do you have that drastic of a drop-off? But you can't be held higher than Tatum, yet you're in MVP talks. Rightfully so. That's how I know it's not about basketball when it comes to this guy. Y'all just don't like the nigga for whatever reason. But if you was to line up Jason Tatum's resume from the beginning to now, you would say, God damn, that's a first ballot Hall of Fame. And he's only 27? All I'm saying is, call a spade a spade. That's it. SGA had a horrendous game 3. Horrendous game 3. Hold him accountable for that. I'm not saying you got to have legacy talks about the nigga, but just hold him accountable for him in that game. Jason Tatum, he had a bad back-to-back start 2 games versus the Knicks. Talk about the 2 games, though. This shouldn't be topics running talking about, oh, is this a legacy game 3 for Tatum? The nigga already won a chip. SGA hasn't even been out the second round yet. This is shit I'm talking about. If you like the guys, just say that. Don't come in my texts. Don't come in my DMs. Don't call me talking to me about some Jason Tatum shit and you not holding SGA to a higher or same standard. It don't make sense, and I know you just want to waste fucking time. And you just want to wait on these moments to push narratives. That's not what basketball is about, bro. That's not what it's about. Yes, again, he did have a bad 2 games, and he should be held accountable, but only in them 2 games. There's no need to have no legacy talks about Jason Tatum. Because the guy that y'all been campaigning to be MVP yet hasn't even been to a conference final yet. Those are the facts. He hasn't been to one yet, and he don't got not one playoff moment. So let's just be honest, bro. Let's just be honest. The way I see it panning out, I do got Boston and OKC in the finals. I still think that the Thunder are gonna beat Denver. Cause I know they feel like they shouldn't have lost, and I feel like they shouldn't have lost that game. It was a lot of questionable playmaking from SGA in those last 14 minutes of that game. Last 14 minutes. I'm not talking about the fourth quarter. Even the last couple minutes in the third, or before he went, even before, like, so I'm accumulating the time here. Like, that whole fourth quarter, he was abysmal. It was terrible. It was terrible. And he was way better than that. But I still can't understand how SGA can have that much of a drop-off. Like, people keep talking about percentages. Like, Jason Tatum shooting 45, 46 from the field. That's normal for him. And again, that's good. And I think y'all also don't remember that. Shooting 50% or higher from the field is alien shit. That's not normal shit. Good is, the baseline is 40. You dip below 40, you need to pick it the fuck up. 43, 44, 45, 46, that's pretty damn good to be shooting from the field, bro. But when you are SGA and you shoot 50-something% from the field from the year, and now you're around 38, 39%. Again, you got 4 games out of the 7 shooting under 40%. That's a problem. And it demands better. Also, on top of that, having a bad Joker game, because Joker hasn't been that good in the playoffs this year either. He got one great game, but consistently, he hasn't been Joker to how we know him to be. So I think y'all really fucked up losing that game, getting that type of performance from Joker. But I do expect SGA to come back. And I do expect for the Thunder to win that series in 6. Because they're just a better team than Denver. But what happens is when you give a team like that confidence, anything can happen in the playoffs, and we all know that to be true. But I still do believe in the Thunder to win that game and take care of business for the duration of that series. In the other Western Conference matchup, Steph Curry, he's out. So Jimmy Butler's headed the ship now. And another thing I want to discuss about with Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler just signed for an extension for $60 million a season. Am I wrong for asking, should he be able to close out a series without Steph? You force your way out of Miami. You say you want to be a contender. You know, when playoffs come around, you're the playoff Jimmy. Y'all niggas compared him to Jordan a few years ago for the Miami Heat run to the finals. So am I wrong for saying Jimmy Butler should be able to go ahead and win this series without Steph Curry? I don't know, but I do think the Wolves are going to win it, though, because they're just off the rip. They're more healthy. And I just think they're all around, they're a better team. So, but I do expect Jimmy Butler to at least perform to the level that he's been playing to in Miami when this time comes around. No team is giving you $60 million, my nigga, and you just going out here, you putting out Kuminga stats. And I got the stats. I come prepared. I just don't talk on my ass. That's one thing you're going to get out this pod. You're going to get facts. You're going to get my opinions, but I got some facts to back up my shit. So let's talk about it. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me see. Come on, man. So where we at with it? Jimmy Butler has averaged 18.4.6 rebounds and 5.1 assists in 8 games so far in the 2025 playoffs. Jonathan Kuminga has averaged 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 45% shooting this year. That don't sound like a $60 million upgrade. I'm sorry. C. Kerr could be putting Kuminga out there if you're going to go out there and do that, Jimmy. I'm just being real, bro. That's just me being honest. I can't be wrong for asking you to turn it up and you getting $60 million a season, my nigga. That's how I look at it. I do expect the Wolves to take this series, but I do expect Jimmy Butler to perform better. Let me stay on the words real quick. Draymond Green. I'm sick of Draymond Green's antics. Enough of this. He went on his little spiel about, oh, I'm tired of being painted as an angry black man. My nigga, we don't know you outside of basketball. We know you inside the lines. And when you display is anger, the way you flail your arms, the way you kick people, the way you grab people, the way you punch people, those are signs of somebody who is playing the game of basketball angry. You may be doing great shit outside of basketball. You may be doing that. I don't know you to be doing that, though. And if you are, salute. I congratulate you on that. But inside the lines, bro, this is a consistent theme. And I'm really upset with the league for really not holding this man accountable how they're supposed to. I understand they have a system to where you accumulate a certain amount of technical fouls, you get suspension. It's not enough for this guy. He has many priors. When is this going to be an accumulation of multiple playoff games missed for him specifically? Yes, he needs to be set aside when it comes to his suspensions. He needs to be set aside when it comes to his suspensions. That's where we're at with Draymond Green. I'm not buying the angry man spiel. I'm sorry, I can't give you that. Because what you are displaying on the court is somebody who playing the game. What is wrong with you? You don't have to be doing this, dog. Go out there and just play basketball. I have sung Draymond Green's praises as far as a defender and how he plays offensively at times. You get what I'm saying? So, excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. Man, my mic. No, we good? We good? All right. But Draymond does have to be better, bro. You too good of a player offensively minded wise. I'm not talking about from a scoring aspect, knowing where people are supposed to be at. Defensively, great defensive player. You don't have to play the game like that, dog. You don't. Nobody's painting you no way. This is what you are displaying on the court. This is what you're giving us. So I don't know what Adam Silver is going to do about this, but hopefully this gets nipped in the bud, man, because I don't want to see this happen no more, man. I'm sick of it myself. So I do have the Wolves winning that. I do have the Thunder winning that. In the East, I got the Cavs taking care of business. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. He been balling his ass off, dropping 40 points in back-to-back games. I saw Darius Garland come back. I know he dealing with a toe injury. But I do expect the Cavaliers to take care of the Pacers, and I do expect Boston to finish out the Knicks. They're just a better team. And even with the Celtics blowing those two games, they was leading by 20 in both those games, shooting horrendous from three. So I'm definitely interested to see how those pan out. And I do got Boston and OKC in the finals. NFL news, I don't really got too much. We all know Shedeur Sanders got drafted. That's pretty much all the big news. And I do feel like he was slighted. NFL was trying to shit on him by sending him a message that was wrong. I had him as a second round grade. There's no reason why. My apologies, y'all. Something going on with my mic. I'm gonna fix that for y'all. But Shedeur definitely shouldn't have been a 5th round pick. Definitely shouldn't have been. And I felt like the league messed up trying to play him like that. That wasn't right at all. So hopefully he shows out for the Browns. So salute to Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh for getting drafted by the Buccaneers. So we definitely gonna see how that pans out. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. Again, this is my first episode of I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. Again, I want to definitely salute y'all for taking this journey with me. I can't wait to see how this unfolds. I'm ready to, expand my wings, continue to grow, become better, and just turn this thing up a notch, man. So y'all continue to be out here, chase your dreams, be disciplined, be smart, be healthy out here, and especially my black men. Please take your health serious. Please take your health serious. I had a homeboy who had a health scare. He was in the hospital actually. And, I had to have a stern conversation with him about that. Especially with us being around the same age, 33, 34 years old. A lot of times, a lot of us are tapping out at 40 and 50, and it shouldn't be happening, bro. So please take your health serious. Continue to work out here. Reach out to your friends, your homies. All my homies know you can reach out to me if you got something on your mind. And ultimately, man, live life. Enjoy it. And whatever you do that shit 100, man. Please do that shit 100. So again, this is my first episode. Again, I appreciate y'all. I will be on all platforms. Please don't forget to subscribe. It don't cost nothing to subscribe, like, share, tell somebody about it. And like I said, I'm going to be here for y'all, man. We going to run this shit up. So, man, please, I hope you heard what I said the first time, because I'm not repeating myself. I'm out. Appreciate y'all.